Now, Attorney General Godfrey Adame is tonight standing his ground, insisting he will still prosecute the minority leader, KC Alatoforce, in the ambulance procurement trial, despite advice by High Court judge for him to recuse himself. The sitting judge, in her ruling, also referenced part of an audio recording where the Attorney General is heard advising Richard Jakpa to secure a medical excuse document from a hospital in order to delay the trial. A member of our legal affairs desk, Latif Idrisu, was in court and joins me in studio with some details. Latif, first of all, we were not there. How was the atmosphere like in court?
Well, so it was as the last time we went to court. Today was no different. The courtroom was packed to the brim. You had anxious faces.
Good day and welcome to
big
Personality Profiles here on
NDC,
Joy
members of
99.7
Parliament
FM,
coming
and of course on the Joy Prime
notable
channel.
lawyers from the opposition
I'm Louis
NDC coming
you
in.
can call me Lexus
on the
Bill,
side of
and
the
as always,
Attorney General, you also
these
had
conversations because we
big
get to
wigs within
celebrate
the
people who are
ruling
doing amazing things
NPP
here
also
for the
coming
motherland.
to
And today
give
I
their
have
support,
one very
to
amazing
the
conversation
Attorney
for
General.
you. One that you would love to
when
listen
the judge
to. So
sat
I don't know what you're
and
doing
started
right now, but
delivering
I'd
the
rather
ruling,
you take a seat,
as
grab a
expected,
drink, turn up
the
the
whole
volume a little
courtroom
bit
was
because
quiet,
we'd love to hear
and
my
you could
guests
see
today.
anxious faces.
Yes. Today
of
we paid
the
a visit
people
to our
who had real
landlord.
stake in this ongoing trial.
You're wondering who?
Interesting.
Well,
Now,
Dr.
there was
Kelvin Taki.
a ruling.
Yeah.
You know, on the
You're probably
application
wondering
brought
who he
before the
is.
court.
He's a very prosperous
Walk us
entrepreneur.
So
I had a very
four
wonderful business
applications
life.
were sitting before the
And you're probably
trial
puzzled
judge,
still who
and
he
she
is.
delivered
Well,
her ruling
he's our
on
landlord.
all four of it.
Look, for many years,
They
Accra
all
had
went
been
one
without a
direction.
king.
All four
But in
applications
2020,
filed by Richard
The
Jakpa
Jasiche swore in
and Case
Dr. Kelvin Taki
were
Abia
dismissed
as the
by the
Manche,
sitting judge.
the king
She
of the
dismissed
Ghana
all of
judicial
it
area.
and made
So
some
far, his
references
oversight
to
over the kingdom has been
laws and precedents
amazing. It can be
outside the
best described
jurisdiction
as
to back
transformative.
some of the rulings
He's been a
that she
symbol of
made.
unity.
First of all, I would like
And
us to
just like he
begin with
illustrated in his
the
speech at his
issue
induction,
regarding
a broomstick
your
can easily be
headline,
broken.
which says that the AG says he's going to continue with the trial despite the advice from the trial judge. Now, the trial judge, in her ruling, said she found nothing wrong with the audio recording. You remember the audio recording the opposition NDC played in the public domain in the court of public opinion? According to the trial judge, she finds no problem with that audio recording, except that aspect of that recording where you could hear the Attorney General and Richard Jakpa having a conversation to the effect that the AG was advising, if you like, the third accused, Richard Jakpa, to secure a medical excuse duty document to be submitted to the court to delay the ongoing trial so that the Attorney General, Godfrey Adame, could travel out of the country and then return to still meet Mr. Jakpa in the witness box. That the trial judge found it problematic, but then she went on to say that though I find it problematic, I don't have the jurisdiction to make a concrete declaration on that one. So what did she do? She said there is another forum where Mr. Jakpa or Dr. Casey Latoforcing could go and seek redress, and that is the General Legal Counsel.
Okay.
She finds it problematic, but she can't do anything beyond advising the Attorney General to recuse himself from the ongoing trial.
Okay, so that's what the judge advised. In her exact words, what did she say?
Yeah, so I want to read a bit of part of the ruling. So on that line, let me just go straight. She said, I am of the considered view that it would be prudent that the Attorney General be strongly advised not to directly or personally involved in the further prosecution of this case.
Okay.
This is the ruling of, it's an advice.
Okay.
You know, we are tempted to say it's a ruling.
So
It
it's
is
an
an
advice.
advice
Okay.
the judge gave to the
But you
the Attorney
spoke
General.
to Godfrey Adame after the sitting, and you asked him a question on this particular advice. What did he say?
So the Attorney General, Godfrey Adame, says, when I asked him the question, what he makes of the ruling by the judge, he said, I saw him in court and he did not budge even after the advice given by the sitting judge.
Stop this sensationalism. I think you remember you were in court, the judge herself, even after the ruling, clarified that she has not given any such order at all. And that is only an advice. Yes. And what did you notice afterwards? I'm conducting the matter, I'm still conducting the trial. The most important point today is that all the applications filed by the applicants have been dismissed in their entirety. All the 5 applications have failed. And I think that in reaction to this, I would say that clearly shows there's a group of people in this country who ride on manipulation of facts, distortion, and deception of the public. They're always seeking to mislead and deceive the public. Today, they've been exposed. That is what I say. I leave the rest to my friends.
So now that they've been dismissed, all the applications have been dismissed, yes. How do you see this case going forward?
Well, today, when I was coming, I had a song in my spirit. Head of that church triumphant. You know that song? Please. We joyfully adore thee. And then it goes on. Precisely. Continue. You have to play it in your radio stations. Head of thy church triumphant, we joyfully adore thee. And I said to you that they will lay traps, but all the traps I'll flee from them. And indeed, only righteousness will prevail.
Would you object to the audio record now?
I'm not speaking again.
What about the specific finding? The specific finding that in the engagement you didn't make any specific comment.
I think for me that's again. Oh, please stop. Okay, I think that's also the. You see that for me epitomizes the deception of the public I talk about. I speak about the deception, distortion of fact, and manipulation of the public by a group of people in this country. You heard a judge say today that 10 times she had listened to the audio. She never heard the attorney general utter those words. And those words, if at all, came from the mouth of.
So that was the attorney general there. Now, quickly, what were some of the critical points that came up as well?
Okay, so the audio, you just heard the attorney general referencing the audio. The judge in her ruling also said that this audio in contention is just about 2 weeks old. The judge says she sees no reason why a 2 weeks old audio would come and derail the proceedings at the court that has gone on for the past 2 years. That is one, and says she can't injunct the attorney general, as was sought by Richard Jakpa, when A1, which is Dr. Kisilato Forcing here, has already opened and closed his case. Okay,
all right, thank you very much. Now, I've been joined on the telephone line by a professor of law at the University of Ghana Law School, Professor Kojo Apieje. Prof, I'm grateful to you for joining us here. Explain to the layperson the weight of this ruling that dismisses all the applications to the sustainability of the main case itself. So we seem to have lost Professor Kojo Apieje there, but we'll try and raise him. But so you also spoke with the NDC Director of Communications, Sami Jemfi, who also had his own perspective on the ruling. What did he say? Yeah, for the NDC, they say this is the court's ruling. They will respect it, but they disagree. And he quoted some portions of the ruling, which he says the sitting judge was not consistent with her referencing. We could take a listen.
And so where there are serious issues about abuse of the court processes, the court has the jurisdiction to deal with those matters under Article 140. And we don't know of any known law that takes away that power. Number two, assuming without admitting that there is no specific law that even confers that jurisdiction on the court or that power on the court to make orders for mistrial and, orders for inquiry in our jurisdiction. The point is simple. The common law is part of the laws of Ghana. If you check Article 11 of the 1982 Constitution on sources of law, the common law is part of the laws of this country. And that is why when our laws don't provide for certain issues, judges will always refer to decided cases outside the jurisdiction. They have persuasive authority. Now the point is that these applications were not even moved at the last agenda date. The trial judge also makes statements about that the Attorney General did not utter certain words, okay? Words that Mr. Japa uttered on the tape that you have been meeting me in my cousin's house, and you've been telling me to testify in this particular way, and if I do that, I will be dishonest, and I'll be helping you to jail an innocent man. I'm paraphrasing, right? And the trial judge says those were words uttered by Mr. Japa. But the trial judge forgets that was a conversation, and we totally disagree with that. Now, apart from that, is the issue of weight. The judge went on to comment on the audio recording of a telephone conversation between Mr. Japa and the Attorney General. This is the audio recording we in the NDC put out through a press conference we organized. Very material to the issues for determination in court. And it is clear on the tape that Mr. Dame was seeking the help of Mr. Japa. Either than that, why did Mr. Dame call Japa in the first place? If he didn't need his help, he called him to give him lunch or dinner or breakfast. Clearly we disagree, right? That's the court decision. We disagree. The lawyers will advise. But
so that's the NDC's communications officer, Sami Jemfi, who's a lawyer himself. He was also in court there. Now, luckily we've had him on the telephone lines now, so let's have a chat with him. So, Sami, I'm grateful to you for joining. Now, you disagree with the ruling of the judge. Is it not? Can't we say how you understand the issues are quite different from how she will interpret the law to also, put the issues in context?
But that's precisely what a disagreement is. A disagreement shows that we have divergent opinions on certain matters of law, and we're entitled to disagree with the court. But it is not correct to say that we disagree with the decision by the court in its entirety, because as I indicated to your correspondent, there are portions of the decision of the court that we agree with. The decision by the court to admit Exhibit CAF2, which is the audio recording that we in the NDC put out, that Godfrey Dame and his hirelings in the NPP said was doctored. That was a very commendable decision by the court. Now, that decision by the court to admit that evidence has settled this whole issue about the authenticity of that tape, because you recall that our friends in the NPP said that the tape was doctored. They couldn't justify that point in court, and the court said, despite the objection or the protest from the Attorney General that the tape is inadmissible, the court went ahead to admit that. That is something that we agree with. Again, the court went ahead to give a strong advice to the Attorney General to stay away from the case, giving his clear prosecutorial and professional misconduct in this matter. Yes, it may not be what we're looking for, which is in the nature of an injunction, but to the extent that the judge was minded in good conscience to say that what the Attorney General has done, to quote the judge, negates good thoughts. It should tell you how seriously the court deems this misconduct on the part of the Attorney General. And the court only said, this is not the appropriate forum. The appropriate forum will be the General Legal Counsel. How Godfrey Dame and his NPP hirelings can be celebrating this disgrace of monumental proportions is something only they can explain. The part where we disagree with the judge has to do with, the dismissal of the applications. And listen, the judge did not go into the merits of the applications. All the judge said is that she is not aware of any law or rule of practice that confers powers on her to make the orders when I say we, I'm talking about Honorable Atoforsen and Mr. Jakpa, were asking her to make. So she says, I don't have the power, okay? Because in Ghana, we don't have any law that gives a judge trying a criminal matter in a summary trial the power to make orders for mistrial or orders for inquiry and so on. That is it. She is not saying that, the substance or the merit of the case we have brought is not justifiable. And was this your we disagree with that, because indeed.
So Sami, was this your understanding that she didn't have the power to?
No, that is something we disagree with, because number one, the High Court, per Article 140 of the 1992 Constitution, has jurisdiction in all criminal and civil matters subject to the provisions of the Constitution. And in law, when jurisdiction is conferred on a superior court, it is only in cases where you have a specific law ousting part of that jurisdiction that the court can decline jurisdiction. In this case, we thought that since the court is seized with this criminal matter and has the jurisdiction to try this criminal matter, and this issue of prosecutorial misconduct has arisen in the course of this matter, which borders on the abuse of the court processes, the court, which is there to serve justice, obviously had the jurisdiction to inquire into those matters to ensure that justice was being done. Even aside that, we made a point that if you look at the sources of law of Ghana under Article 11, the common law is part of sources of law in Ghana. So even though we don't have orders of mistrial and orders for inquiry written black and white in Ghanaian law, under the common law, you have such orders available to a court trying a criminal matter, even in a summary trial.
But
so if the common law is part of the laws of Ghana, then the judge, in my humble opinion, got it wrong when he said that she is not aware of any law that gives her the power to make the orders we're inviting her to make.
Okay.
Even aside that, the judge contradicted herself, because in determining whether or not she was going to grant stay of proceedings or injunct the Attorney General, okay, she ended up citing authorities that are not Ghanaian decided cases. She cited a lot of cases decided in Canada and the United Kingdom. So if the judge's position is that only laws written black and white in our statutes can give her jurisdiction or can be applied, then why does she cite all those external authorities? So clearly we disagree with that. In any case, our point is that she should have at least had counsel for Mr. Jakpa, counsel for Honorable Atoforsen on these important matters. But at the last agenda date, my lady respectfully did not even allow the applications to be moved. Neither did she even, in the exercise of her discretion, which she's entitled to, even allow counsel to address her on those issues of law as to whether or not Ghanaian law allows a judge in a summary trial to make the orders we're seeking from the court. And so,
but she's given a recommendation
she had allowed that. We are very sure.
She's given a recommendation that you must take this to the Ghana Legal Council. Do you trust that the Ghana Legal Council can do the job that you are seeking, or the justice you are seeking in this matter?
Petition the Ghana Legal Council at her own time. Nobody's going to. I mean, the court is absolutely right in saying that the appropriate forum is the GLC. We thought that the court is also another appropriate forum, since this matter is before the court and these issues have arisen out of that matter. The two, in our opinion, are not mutually exclusive. The court disagrees and thinks that the GLC is the appropriate forum. Yes, we've taken a cue from that. We know that the GLC is one of the appropriate forums. Parliament is another appropriate forum. The SHRAJ is another appropriate forum. And we have already served notice that we'll be pursuing this matter to its logical conclusion by exploring all these avenues open to us. So that one, no two ways about it. Godfrey Dame can never exculpate himself from accountability in this matter. His cup is full and his day of reckoning has come.
But once that is what you're looking for, will you go to the GLC to ensure that you get this justice that you're seeking for?
Of course, we are going to go to the GLC. But as I always say, at the right time. And I have a reason for saying at the right time. I mean, there is no statute of limitation on professional misconduct by lawyers. So we reserve the right to trigger disciplinary proceedings at the GLC against this dishonorable, crooked character called Godfrey Adame at the right time. You see, another thing the judge said that we disagree with.
No, but I find those words to be quite strong. That a crooked and dishonorable, and these too strong to use on your own fellow lawyer.
Too soft for a man who can tell a witness to lie to a court by going to contrive a fake medical excuse duty. Crooked and dishonorable are even charitable.
Okay, I hear. I'm grateful, Sammy. Let me bring in Henry Nanabuachi, who is the national organizer of the NPP and a lawyer, himself as well. Henry, I'm grateful for joining. Now, here the court says, I'm admitting that audio we all listened to, an audio that you said was doctored. How does that mean for the main case itself?
First of all, it means nothing. But then before, let me say that it is unfortunate for, such words to be used to describe the Attorney General, especially when all manner of unprintable words were thrown at the Attorney General. You said so many things. In fact, some even called him criminal. And then you went to the court. There were 4 applications before the court. In fact, even before the tape was played by the NDC, they had gone haywire, saying that they have caught the Attorney General on tape, trying to coach the accused, that is A3, to implicate A1, that is Ato Forcing. It was all over. And today the judge said that, look, I've listened to this tape 10 good times. 10 good times. And nowhere on the tape, nowhere did Bofedame coach A3 to implicate Ato Forcing. In fact, if such words were even used, it came from Japa himself. So for me, it's unfortunate how we go around talking about professional misconduct when indeed it was a day of shame for the NDC in court today. A day of shame.
But Henry, if there was no merit in it, would the judge, in her wisdom and understanding of the law, refer that, well, the General Legal Counsel is the right forum to hear that? I mean,
please, let's use our word. She has not referred the matter.
Okay,
what
so it's a suggestion.
She said was that
she suggested.
For me, it's more or less like a suggestion that what happened borders on misconduct as a legal practitioner. So the appropriate forum for such matters to be addressed will be the General Legal Counsel. So you can go there, but then not in the High Court. That is why I'm saying that it was a day of shame for the NDC. In fact, the National Communications Director, right after the court, the ruling, went to his Facebook page, posted that the judge has directed the Attorney General to recuse himself from the conduct of the matter. Then when we issued a statement to expose that lie, he goes back to amend what he had already posted, to say that she has strongly advised. Yes, that is it. In fact, the judge even said it, that I advised. And he said that because of the brouhaha, because of the public interest in it, you can stay away from it. It is not binding on the Attorney General. It is not binding on the Attorney General. So what is important is that today, the application for mistrial was shut down. It was dismissed. The application for the for the court to compel the Attorney General to discontinue the matter again was shut down. Was dismissed. The application for the court again to trigger a certain inquiry into the conduct of the Attorney General again was shut down. It was dismissed.
Yeah, Harry, we get that. But don't you think when the judge says, I am of the considered view that it would be prudent that the Attorney General be strongly advised not to be directly or personally involved in the further prosecution of this case? And then he says, quote, but I am of the respectful view that this is one of the ways of ensuring that the judicial process is protected and to gain public confidence, such that it may not be the perception that cases can be dealt with in any other place than in the courtroom. Isn't this instructive enough for the AG to say
again? But don't also forget that he said that this is not in any way or shape or form making a value judgment on whether the Attorney General was right or wrong in holding a conversation bordering on what was a live case in court with an accused person.
Okay.
He was prosecuting. You should add that as well.
Okay, all right.
So that is why I'm saying that it was an advice.
Okay, Henry. I'm grateful to you for joining. Let's bring in Mr. Kweku Ansah. He's former director of the Ghana School of Law. I'm grateful to you, sir, for joining. First off, what does this really mean to the layperson? What's the weight of this ruling that dismisses all the applications to the sustainability of the main case? Hello, Mr. Kwekwansa Ansari. Hello, Mr. Kwekwansa Ansari. Do I have you? Well, so that's it. Mr. Kwekwansa Ansari, I'm trying to find out from you. I mean, the judge in a ruling states that the application of mistrial is essentially alien and that no rule or procedure merit declaration of mistrial. What do you make of this declaration by the judge? Well, it looks like we're having challenges with our line, but that's all on Top Story for today. Coming up next is News Night.
You listening to me on the radio. I know exactly what you need, and I go sort you out. But first, a quick introduction. Maybe the connection man. I'll make things happen. Whether it be business, fashion, or the latest trend in town, I go connect you. I know when people connect, big things they happen. I am the plug to your plug. Anything you want, I go show you where options they line them up for you. You want download or you want stream? Link up. I got you. I conquer everywhere. From circles to KJT. If you come out to Navrom, Jiosu to Kita, Techima to Kumbungu. I'll be the link between you and the next big opportunity. It be me where I go connect you, make it happen. Oh, you want to know my name? I am Telecel.
Switch to Telecel for the best value voice and data services and connect to the things that matter. Connecting dreams, connecting goals, connecting passions.
Telecel, connecting energies.
I am Ohinere Gifty Auntie. You see, it always feels good when you receive that salary alert. I made a bold decision to invest a lump sum into the Old Mutual Retirement Salary Plan, and this means that I will get these alerts every month throughout retirement for the rest of my life. You too can retire on your own terms, so invest a lump sum in the Old Mutual Retirement Salary Plan today and enjoy guaranteed monthly income for life. Call Old Mutual on 050-453-4333 or visit oldmutual.com.gh to sign up today. Old Mutual, do great things every day.
Think you and your dad look alike? Here's a chance to prove it. Achimota Retail Center is celebrating fathers in a memorable way with the Father's Day Lookalike Contest. Join our Father's Day contest and stand a chance to win amazing prizes. Post a photo with a lookalike dad on Facebook or Instagram, and in 3 words, describe your father. Tag at Achimota Retail Center and use the hashtag Achimota Father's Day. Get your friends and family to like your post, and the top 5 posts with the most resemblance and likes win. Make sure you're following Achimota Retail Center. This contest ends on 13 June 2024. Winners will be announced on 14 June 2024 with a special treat and amazing prizes at Achimota Mall on Father's Day. Let's celebrate our amazing dads together. Achimota Retail Center. Hey, your vibes and kwa.
Tonight, kidney patient assessing dialysis at Konfuanoche, Tamale and Cape Coast City hospitals left frustrated as they are forced to pay out of pocket 4 days after Health Insurance Authority announced free dialysis intervention.
What do you call it? Directive that I shouldn't pay. I came here, asked them, they said, yes, we have to pay because they have not received any directives that I shouldn't pay.
So what would you say to government and the authorities since they've made this directive?
Well, I said to the government, what they said was good, but then what I've paid, they have to pay my money back to me.
We are live across the country as management of the hospital say they are yet to receive a formal notice to implement the policy.
As we said, because we also have to make accounts. Auditors come here to work. Because we have to render accounts, we need to ensure that when we start, we have to document everything well. So once we get a directive to start from the Ministry of Health, we will go ahead and start.
The youth of Lambuse joined our agent and they resisted it. The police commander was called in. He called for reinforcement from
5 persons hospitalized following violent clash in Zabzugu in the northern region over voters' transfers disagreement. There is more on this. Plus, we'll take you to the Upper West region where it took the intervention of a joint security operation to avert another bloody clash in the Lambuse constituency.
They came, but still the youth stood their grounds. So at the end, the people were repelled and the bus had to leave.
We have details of this story shortly, as the NPP says, despite the isolated cases, the EC is doing a good job. And in business.
In business, Ghana Shippers Authority engages Bank of Ghana over exchange rate volatilities at the port after persistent complaints by importers.
And in sports, Black Stars head coach Toado is confident in his team's ability to secure all 3 points in the crucial World Cup qualifier against Mali, set to start in an hour.
And coming up on election headquarters tonight, the jostling between the National Democratic Congress and the New Patriotic Party over who promises the best ahead of the election 2024. Details, as the NPP says, John Dramani Mahama's 24-hour economy promise lacks specific policy direction.
They speak of a bogus 24-hour economy.
But he listed it, yes. He listed the
I have told you, and I've said it severally here, that 24-hour economy is not a policy. It is an outcome. It's an end product. The NDC are trying to hoodwink the entire country, deceive us into voting for them, and come to do nothing.
But does the NDC really have an implementation plan?
If NPP in 2016 gave Ghanaians the benefit of seeing a policy document on free SHS, we will not have today live to see double track.
You have a policy document on 24-hour.
At least we have put something, and in fact, you alluded to the point that.
That's
no,
what
but we are even putting a more comprehensive report.
Details coming up next year on Newsnight. Tonight, kidney patients accessing dialysis at Komfo-Anokye, Tamale and Cape Coast teaching hospitals have been left frustrated as they are forced to pay out of pocket 4 days after Health Insurance Authority announced the free dialysis intervention. The directive was to cover the cost of dialysis treatment for people 18 years and below and those 60 and above. Speaking to Joy News on Tuesday, the CEO of the NHIA, Dr. Abuajeda Costa, confirmed formal correspondence had been dispatched to the various hospitals, directing them not to charge the patients.
The fact is, he's actually right. Because the CEOs of those hospitals were part of the committee and the decision was actually taken, letters have actually gone out, but I was not expecting that, obviously, anyone will pay for it. But for those 18 and below and 60 and above who have paid for, we will make sure that their monies are refunded to them fully because it is free. We will continue to, today I was at Kolebu Teaching Hospital and I met with the medical director and the head of the renal unit. We made this clear. In fact, they appreciate it a lot. Like you say, Oliver Trace will always ask for more. So all they are saying is that they are appreciative, but they are asking for more. And they are also saying that they are prepared to help government in coming up or contributing to the sustainability of it. We are looking forward to working with all stakeholders to make sure that chronic diseases are funded and sustained.
And you're saying that anybody who has been charged, if 18 and below and 60 and above, you refund.
Yes.
You refund.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And by the way, where should they go for the refund?
Oh, so it will still be, because we'll give it to the hospitals to give it back to them. We do it through the hospital. The good thing is we have the numbers. If we had, it's like we do have the data, and the names are attached to the data, so we know them. So it wouldn't be difficult at all.
If somebody comes who isn't part of the list you have already?
That is what I said, that you see, then we will have to, obviously, I'm sure they will be part of the list, because if you see the way the list has been made, if you are on chronic dialysis, you know.
Yeah, but you know, between now and December, Many
So
people
you are talking about new patients.
New
Yes,
patients.
that's what I'm
Between
saying.
now
So
and
we consider new
they get
patients.
New patients coming in.
So we've told them that if they have new patients, they should let us know, because obviously now we've budgeted based on the numbers we have.
Yes, but again, my question is that when a new patient walks in today, he still gets a free treatment, free dialysis treatment, if the person is 18 and below and 60 and above, correct?
How do you mean by new patients?
But what I mean is that if today, God forbid,
Yeah.
I discover that my doctor tells me I have this problem and I have to go there today, so I'm a new patient. I'm not part of the list before. I've just been diagnosed with a problem today, and I go to Confanochi Teaching Hospital today and I want a dialysis treatment, and I'm in the bracket where I'm covered for free. Do I get the treatment for free?
I'm sure they will treat you for free and submit the list to us.
But is that the directive? Because that is important for those who are listening to us tonight.
So let's get it clear. The doctors will not just put you on dialysis. You might have gone through some processes first before you are put on dialysis. So what I would say is that we have informed the medical directors that they should let us know the new patients.
So that was Dr. Abuajeda Costa, who is CEO of the NHIA. However, patients seeking these services at the Confanochi Teaching Hospital say they are still being asked to make payment towards their treatment. My colleague Nana Boachi Yadom spoke to some patients at the hospital's renal unit. Take a listen.
Normally, what I have to pay, I have paid it. So I think it's okay.
So it isn't free for you?
It's not free for me.
For how many times have you been here in the week?
I've been here, this is the second time I've been here since the announcement was made.
And in your second time being here, you've made a payment yourself in a week?
I've made it myself, yes.
Well, what's your condition? Tell us.
My condition is, as you see, I mean, I'm on dialysis.
Is it severe?
Well, it's severe. I mean, if you are to come in, you will see. I'm making the payment because there was no, directive that I shouldn't pay. I came here, asked them, they said, yes, we have to pay because they have not received any directives that I shouldn't pay.
So what would you say to government and the authorities since they've made this directive?
Well, I said to the government, what they said was good, but then what I've paid, they have to pay my money back to me.
Because some of the persons away ediaba easy. Ubia kra bo kra na fe wo ho afono no because
it's difficult to get money to pay for the dialysis treatments. Our helpers are even tired. We plead with the government and the NHIA to help us, just as they indicated.
Now why no ahomte.
This ready ma ban ni NHIA ni nyina yesen.
Ma this ready ma ban ni NHIS say o madum ye de yesre wo mo.
But management of the hospital said they are ready to undertake the free dialysis treatment if granted a permit by the Ministry of Health with a notice from the NHIA. Dr. Yao Opare Labi is the Deputy Medical Director of the hospital. Sorry for that. Now, let's take you around the country and gauge the mood or how this is going on in these regions. Nana Abuachi Yadom has been monitoring the situation from the Ashanti region, and he joins us now. Nana, grateful. What is the condition of some of these patients you spoke to?
Units of the Confanochi Teaching Hospital, most of them that we interacted with are stranded. Well, they came in expecting to have some free renal services today. But then, unfortunately, the announcement they did receive from the management of the hospital and the nurses in charge is that they would have to make payment for their dialysis treatment. The initial payment at the Confanochi Teaching Hospital per session is some 597 Ghana cedis, 50 pesos worth, and they would have to bear the cost. A man that we did speak to said that he has been there twice this week, and that has been Monday and today. And in both times being at the hospital's renal unit, he has to make payment himself, contrary to the directive issued by the National Health Insurance Authority. And many of them have been sharing their frustration and their worry with the cost of dialysis treatment at the Confanochi Teaching Hospital, and considering the number of times that they have to be at the renal unit to undergo this particular treatment.
And I must say, very sad narrations there. But you also spoke to the CEO on the sidelines. What was his response?
The CEO did indicate that he has had some interactions with the boss of the NHIA. He has given them the go-ahead, but then they are still expecting the official letter from the Ministry of Health and also the National Health Insurance Authority itself, which would be proceeded to the renal units of the hospital for them to begin the free treatment for these patients who do come in.
We are ready. We are ready to roll out. What we are only waiting for is, because we work under the Ministry of Health, anytime we are going to embark on any activity, we need to receive directives. We need to receive directives from the Ministry of Health, because we work under the Ministry of Health. So before we commit our resources to this very important activity, we just need to receive, all we are waiting for is to just receive a directive that go ahead, start, and these are the modalities for operation and so on. No, we are going to start a service. We are going to use what we call consumables. The consumables are the things that we use, the liquid we use, the tubes and so on, which you finish and you have to discard. All those cost money. So we need to also recoup the money. And we know that the money is already been made available for the age brackets that have been described in the NHIA CEO's his address when he mentioned the package. Yes, so we are ready, and all we are waiting is for the Ministry of Health we work under to just give us the green light to go ahead. And usually we want to also, they communicate with us through documents. So
let's head to the Central Region now and speak to our correspondent, Eric Asante. Eric, what is the situation at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital?
So for me, it was a look of anguish and despair of the patients who fall in the free dialysis category. They tell me they were asked to pay for their dialysis session contrary to the directives by the National Health Insurance Authority. They tell me the hospital authority said they were yet to receive directives from their bosses to implement the free dialysis for those who fall in the category, i.e. those who are about 60 years and above. They told me they anticipated that they may be asked to be paid for their services. So some say they anticipated they will be asked to be paid. So they prepared coming to the hospital. One of them who spoke to me was Dominic Mensah. Let's take a listen to him.
I went there Tuesday, but I was charged 491. I said the government has said that we are not paying. They said no, the government have not told anything. So I was paid. I went there with the money because then I was suspecting the government that they would tell me, the hospital people would tell me the government have not told them. So I made prepared for that. It's not easy, but because of the sickness, I have to.
Well, Eric, what has management of the hospital been telling you?
So one of the managers of the hospital who spoke to me off record indicated to me that, well, they were ready to implement it if the green light was given to them by their bosses. But as it stood, and they were yet to receive an official communication from their bosses. They tell me they've also heard on radio, they heard the vice president when he met the clergy in the Central Region. So they are looking forward to their bosses giving them the green light. Until then, dialysis patients may have to pay for their sessions.
Well, from the Cape Coast, let's cross over to the Northern Region where our correspondent Martina Bugri is standing by. Martina, what can you report from your end?
I guess the situation is same in the Northern Region at the Tamale Teaching Hospital. Patients who walk in for dialysis today would have to pay. And officials at the hospital tell me that they are yet to receive an official communication and the modalities they are supposed to use to implement the policy. And that hasn't come yet. But until it comes, they would have to charge people for dialysis. They are saying that they have seen a release, but that is yet, they need to have an official letter indicating what to do. Then they can begin the operations.
And you've also been speaking to some of the patients. What have they been telling you?
Now they are frustrated because people anticipated that it should begin and then they would have some relief. But it looks like they may have to start looking for resources again. If you had stopped looking for resources because it's coming on and it's going to be free, you would have to begin to source for funding again to continue until they begin the implementation. Then you can rest. And that's a bit frustrating.
All right, Martin, I'm grateful. Now, we have cited a correspondence between the NHIA and the hospitals, and my colleague James Aveji is in studio with details of this correspondence. James, what does it say?
Yes, Bray. So this is a letter signed by the NHIA's boss, NHIA boss himself, dated May 30. And this is supposed to be sent to all the hospitals. Now, it starts by, telling the hospitals about the initiative and how important it is. And part of it says that, quote, management of the NHI reiterates that under this program, the patients shall not be charged for dialysis treatment per the benefit package stated above. Kindly note that should the patient be charged, the authority shall reimburse the patient after all necessary reconciliation have been concluded upon claims submission. And so it also attached, a claim form that all patients who have been charged in the hospitals needed to fill, and so it attached all of that to it. And so the hospitals are informed per this letter not to charge anybody, but if they had already charged someone, they can give the form to them to fill to come back for their money.
So it's important for us to reiterate that any patient who is paying today can still reclaim that payment when the form is made available to him or her.
Exactly. This letter has been sent, but as to whether the hospitals received it on this date or not, I'm sure is the reason for the challenges we are seeing.
All right, so that's it on the dialysis crisis. Away from that and to other stories now. Let's do the election headquarters now. Now, 5 persons have been hospitalized following a violent clash in Zabzugu in the northern region over voters' transfer disagreement. The chaos erupted at a vote transfer center following a heated dispute over alleged illegal vote transfers. A viral video captured the intense scene showing a group of men engaging in a physical altercation, exchanging blows in a chaotic free-for-all fight. We can hear excerpt from the scene capturing the heated exchanges of the incident. So that was the scene in the, Zabzugu area, but the situation was not different in the Lambusie constituency of the Upper West region, where it took the intervention of military men to foil a bloody clash. The NDC's parliamentary candidate for the area, Dr. Titus Bayo, claims his opponent attempted to register non-resident, triggering the chaos.
We got an indication from the Electoral Commission office. I had visited there earlier to monitor the process of the vote transfer, and then I left for some other engagement. And I was called by the agents of our party that a vast load of people had arrived, and from their interrogations, they were coming from the Sisala West constituency, a village called Numoro, and they were coming to register. They were being led by the NPP Deputy Constituency Secretary, who also happens to be the presiding member of the Lambuse District Assembly. So our people resisted it, and the youth of Lambuse joined our agent, and they resisted it. The police commander was called in. He called for reinforcement from Nandon police station. They came, but still the youth stood their grounds. So at the end, the people were repelled, and the bus had to leave. In fact, in the course of all this impasse, the MP was called, and he came. Obviously, by the Deputy Constituent Secretary, he came with one of his aides to come and have a meeting with the EC. But the EC resolved that the people should leave with the bus, and then they left.
So that was what was happening in the Lambuse constituency there. We'll be keeping an eye on this particular developing story, and we'll be bringing you all the update from all the regions in the country for you to understand what exactly is happening. But let's go on the phone lines now and speak to Evans Nimakong, who is Director of Elections and Research for the governing NPP. Good evening to you. I'm grateful for joining us. First off, you've been following these exercises. We would want to find out from him what the party also has been finding out from this. But let's still stay on politics, but take you to the Ashanti region, where some residents in Kumasi have expressed mixed sentiment as speculations intensify on the possible selection of an Ashanti running mate for the new Patriotic Party's flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. While some individuals express excitement about the speculated choice, others are skeptical about the potential challenges that will come with such decisions. Nana Boachi Yadom has more in the following report.
There has been increasing expectation for an announcement of running mate for NPP flag bearer Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. The pressure comes particularly from the Ashanti region, asking for its representation on the presidential ticket. While many express excitement about the speculated consideration, others underscore the need for careful deliberation when choosing candidates.
Because it is already, we have the account faction, that conversation that says that the MPP is more of an account. To play very safe for the MPP, they have no other option than to pick a running mate from the Ashanti region.
According to political scientists at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Dr. Amachi Boateng, the decision is long overdue.
Whether I see a potential running mate from Ashanti region, I don't think twice about that. I don't blink my eyes to say that the running mate is coming from Ashanti region. You see, politics is essentially driven by interest.
Citing the current economic woes as a challenge for the NPP to break the eight, Dr. Amache Boateng believes a well-represented Ashanti running mate is an important choice.
And so this disaffection in Ashanti region had to be addressed by the party. So the decision to pick, or the need for the party to pick the running mate from Ashanti region is dependent on the current situation here.
For voters and experts, a running mate from the Ashanti region, the World Bank of the NPP, could potentially strengthen party cohesion and solidify the party base. But can the choice really come from the Ashanti region? The flag bearer would have to decide. For Joy News, my name is Nana Boachi Dankwayado, Kumasi.
Well, let's return to the disturbances in Sapsugu and also in Lambushi. And I've been joined on the phone lines by Mustafa Gbande, who is Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, as well as Evans Nimakong, who is Director of Research and Elections for the governing New Patriotic Party. Let me start with you, Mustafa. You've been following this exercise. I mean, what have you been gathering all over the country?
Hello.
Hi, Mustafa. I'm trying to find out from you what your monitoring tells you of what's happening in relation to the voters transfer exercise that's been done by the EC.
Well, I think generally, the same as we did the registration. And, when we finished the registration, we had said that it was a relatively very peaceful exercise. But this is different, particularly when the police, who are supposed to be a buffer, at some places have now resorted to aiding illegal transfers. Because we have people that go before EC directors, and they are holding utility bills when you ask them a simple question, they are not even able to mention the name on the utility bill to represent their residents. And so, under the circumstances, some of these things could have been interrogated. If you look at what is happening in Williamson today, the police and the military are giving way for illegal transfer. Zabzugu Tatali, Zabzugu, a similar thing is going on like that. And several other pockets of the places where the police who are supposed to be helping arrest illegal applicants for transfer are rather now aiding this illegality broad day in favor of the NPP. And places where they attack our people, we are being told to be calm. In other places, some of our people are being arrested and remanded forcefully.
But Bande, the EC was specific in its directions to you that, well, we will allow party agents to be there, but there's a process that you have to follow if you have a challenge. If you don't and you cause mayhem, you will be taken out. Is it that your agents are following due process and are still being tormented, as you say? Or,
our agents are following due process. And, of course, the law does not forbid you that if you see somebody about to commit a crime, because there's a process to deal with a crime, you should stand aloof. It's a duty bound on any citizen. If you see someone who does not qualify to transfer his vote, and you can reasonably suspect that that person do not qualify, you are duty bound to stop that crime from being committed. You cannot say that because there will be exhibition, let me wait for exhibition period.
No,
then I'll go and challenge the person.
Bande, but that is why the EC says there is a process through which you have to raise some of these issues. You cannot also say because you want to prevent a crime, you do it anyhow. So isn't it fair that you play according to the EC's processes, that just report it, we'll deal with it, and we all have the time to go through that?
Exactly. It must start from having to alarm that somebody is about to register who doesn't qualify. Then the police would then come in, the EC officers would have to come in at that stage, or otherwise, those that we have not been able to send, which we would intend to challenge through exhibition process, you do so. That is what exactly the NDC intends, and that is what exactly we are doing.
Okay.
I don't see why, in the matters of transfers, which is supposed to be an individual matter, you have people being bashed. Today, people from Cocoa Boards, Kentampo or whatever in the place, the lady there works with the chief of staff. She's bashing Cocoa Board people to her constituency. STC, they are bashing people all over the place.
You have evidence to prove that?
Of course, we do have evidence to this one. You know,
I'm grateful to you,
institutions where NPP
I'm grateful
candidates...
You've made your point. Well, you've made your point, Mustafa. Let me bring in Evans Nemakon, who's also been monitoring the process. Evans, what has your own monitoring, been telling you about the process so far?
Thank you very much for having me. And I want to find out from Mustafa. Mustafa, assuming you are agent at a transfer center, how are you going to challenge somebody who has sworn an oath, a declaration before a commissioner of oath, and is to satisfy the EC returning officer from not to effect his or her transfer? Is there anywhere in the CI 127 that you can depend to object to such a transfer? I want to find out from Mustafa.
The criminals who are caught in law court using impersonation of law certificate, don't they swear an oath in court before they are caught?
So Mustafa,
are we deprived of the responsibility to stop people from committing a crime? The people that were arrested in...
Okay, so hold, Mustafa, you've answered the question. Let him come in. Yeah, Evans, we're listening.
Yes, the circumstance we find ourselves is different. Unfortunately, the CI says that the person who seeks to transfer his or her vote must satisfy the returning officer at the district. And as political parties, we should be given the list of the transfer. And then we can raise concerns when the EC does the exhibition. I don't think we have to break bones for us to appreciate what the CI dictates. And I think the NDC is creating unnecessary tension within the scenario we are all playing in. I mean, I still cannot find myself to appreciate the concerns of the NDC. And at all times, so, my brother, we have 268 district officers. Is it only Zabzugu that the NDC has concerns? They don't have any problem in Ketu North. They don't have any problem in Asawasi. They don't have any problem in Ayawaso West Wogon, where their own parliamentary candidate is asking the YC to bring their transfer kit to the university campus to enable people who are registered but in view of their mid-semester exams are unable to travel to the district office to effect their transfer. I think we have to be fair to this system. And under the circumstance, it's not the hue and cry from the NDC. But we must all be fair and appreciate what we have and deal with it as such. It's not the unnecessary tension we seek to raise and we don't have basis. Agents, what do you have to do? But I can assure you, my brother, the election comes December 7, 2024. His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Baumia will beat Mr. John Dramani Mahama. That's the end of the story.
Over to you, gentlemen, Evans Nimako and Mustafa Gbande. But this is still Newsnight on Joy 99.7 FM. We're also live across many of our affiliates across the country. In business, this evening, Ghana Shippers Authority engages the Bank of Ghana over exchange rate volatilities at the port after persistent complaints by importers, and Ecobank Group optimistic of returning to dividend payment possibly from next year after brief suspension. Business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, Syntex Tanks, and Pepsodent Chakwan Herbal.
Life is a stage, and we're all players, playing the supporting role.
The title of my poem is
Playing with Rhythm. Playing the lead. Playing to win. Playing with gusto. Playing for the sheer thrill until the curtain falls. Because every journey begins with play. Kickstart yours with MTN. So, what are we doing today? MTN.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kingdom Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom, and my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first point of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office, Osu Akwaje, or our office near the Osu Stadium. We're also in Tema Community 1, opposite Olam SHS, Kumasi KNUST campus, UCC Cape Coast, and now at the Marina Mall, Airport City. Or call us 0302 764101, 764209, or 762792. Visit our website www.kingdomgh.com.
Water is needed all day, all night. So remember Syntex Tank all day, all night. 7 years warranty. Select any color for free. In no the crack, in no the spoil. Call Accra on 0244 335 168. Kumasi 0505 555 666. Syntex Tank. A strong, a tough. Water is needed all day, all night. So remember Syntex Tank all day, all night. 7 years warranty. Select any color for free. In no the crack, in no the spoil. Call Accra on 0244 335 168. Kumasi 0505 555 666. Syntax Tank. A strong, a tough.
Choboy! We have a new leader in town. OBRNT. Amanfo. Madam was Sibebre. When him say my baby, maybe mamu more charcoal for whiter teeth. More charcoal. Not only that, maybe mamu lemon. More lemon. Zinc for fresher breath. More zinc. And fluoride for stronger teeth.
Introducing the new President Charcoal packed with more power with a combination of charcoal and lemon for naturally whiter teeth. Grab yours now. This advert is FDA approved.
Hello, my name is Mami Akuya, an entrepreneur and a mother of two. My work keeps me busy most of the time, and sometimes it takes me away from my family. But the safety and health of my family is very important to me. As a working mother, I cannot afford to take any chances when it comes to matters of health. That is why I signed up for a family healthcare plan from Equity Health Insurance. My family and I have access to over 700 hospitals, clinics, opticians, dentists, pharmacies, and diagnostic centers across the length and breadth of Ghana. With Equity Health Insurance, I no longer have to worry about medical bills. Anytime a member of my family visits a hospital, Equity Health Insurance has got my family and I covered. What about you? Who has got you covered?
Call Equity Health Insurance on 050-660-7910 and talk to them about your family health needs now. Visit equityhealthinsurance.com for more information. Equity Health Insurance, here for you.
Hey, please don't make mistake. Talk to Papa. Open the come out. And you no girl. Papa.
Papa, can ruffle.
The foreign tank is the original, the first and the best.
What is? Ukota also pet dear acrobat using it.
Politics, yes.
Welcome back to Business on Newsnight with me, James. And let's settle for the details. First off, the Ghana Shippers Authority has stated that it is engaging the Bank of Ghana to fix a workable exchange rate regime for importers at the port. The assurance comes years of complaints from importers due to the exchange rate volatility. Speaking to the media after a breakfast meeting for top shippers in the Southern Zone, Head Business Development and Commercial Services at the authority, Fred Esiodidate, said they are hopeful the meeting with the Bank of Ghana will be fruitful.
All right, so the industry has a challenge with the arbitrary application of exchange rates. This matter has been with us for quite a bit, and we have engaged at the highest level the Bank of Ghana on it to give direction in terms of how to address it. They have provided some guidelines, and we are following through. In fact, we have done some extensive work, but we are yet to engage with the Bank of Ghana, and we believe that that process will lead to a definitive, pronouncement or directive that will lead us all out of this quagmire.
Fred Esiodidate, Head Business Development and Commercial Services at the Ghana Shippers Authority. To some banking stories now. EcoBank Group has assured that it could return to paying dividend next year. The bank suspended payment of dividend for last year despite posting a record revenue in 2023. The bank says it intends to recapitalize its subsidiaries. Jeremy Awari is Group Chief Executive of EcoBank and has been speaking to Joy Business in Lomé, Togo after the annual general meeting today.
The realities of operating a business across markets, we saw a number of things right through from COVID into last year. Some of the regulators insisted that we retain profits, and the way that we pay profits for our shareholders is upstreaming those profits. So we take the dividend from an affiliate in a country, and then we pass that to ETI, and those dividends that we get from countries are what we pay out to our shareholders. So a number of countries were conservative because they weren't sure about the macroeconomic environment, and they wanted us to retain that capital. So the board deliberated, it looked at the facts, and we made the difficult decision to say that we will not pay dividends on this particular occasion, but we are working towards resuming dividends as soon as possible.
Jeremy Awori is Group Chief Executive of EcoBank Group, speaking to Joy Business in Lomé, Togo. Now to some other stories. The Economic Intelligence Unit has raised its global real GDP growth forecast for 2024 to 2.5%, up from the previous 2.4%, indicating that growth will remain stable despite high interest rates and geopolitical risk. There's more in the following report.
The Economic Intelligence Unit has updated its forecast for global real GDP growth in 2024 to 2.5%, slightly up from the previous estimate of 2.4%. This indicates that growth will remain stable rather than slow down from 2023, reflecting the surprising resilience of the global economy amidst high interest rates and ongoing geopolitical risks. One of the key drivers behind this upward revision is the improved growth outlook for the United States, now projected to expand by 2.2% in 2024, up from an earlier forecast of 2%. The EIU also anticipates that the US dollar will continue to appreciate for a third consecutive year in 2024, countering early expectations of a mild depreciation. This adjustment is largely due to a stronger than expected depreciation in the yen and a revised outlook that no longer includes an appreciation of the euro.
That was a Business Desk report. Now, GOIL PLC at its annual general meeting has kept its dividend to shareholders at 0.056 pesos per share for the 2023 financial year. This will amount to 22 million cedis. The company recorded a dip in profit after tax of 54.7 million cedis, which represents 55% for board chairman of the company. Reginald Daniel Lai explained that the adoption of sound financial operating and marketing strategies enabled the company to post the result.
The modest current earnings per share EPS of 0.14 Ghana cedis showcase our resilience and ability to generate returns for shareholders even in extremely difficult times. I would like to take this opportunity to express my profound appreciation for your steadfast support and confidence in your company. Your shareholding is highly valued and cherished. Therefore, despite the challenges we face, the board has made the decision to maintain and recommend a dividend payment of 0.56 per share, reflecting our commitment to shareholder value and our optimism for the future of your company.
Reginald Daniel Lai is the board chairman of GOIL PLC. And that's all for Business on Newsnight with me, James Ishan. Also this evening, catch some exciting discussion on PM Express Business Edition on the Joy News channel at 9 p.m. as George Uriafi engages the National Pensions Regulatory Authority's Chief Executive Officer John Quainin-Mbro on protection of pension funds. Over to you, Kojo.
Thank you very much, James, for that. Now, coming up next here to S Sports with Razak Musbao.
Yeah, Kojo as well. It's just 15 minutes away from that crucial World Cup qualifier game between Mali and Ghana. The starter lineup is already out for Ghana, and Jordan Ayew has been dropped to the bench. The Black Stars will have Lawrence Atizigi in post. In defense, we'll have Ali Duseidu, Tariq Lamptey, Alexander Jiku, Mohamed Salisu, Gideon Mensah. Then in midfield, Enes Nyama, Thomas Partey, Mohamed Kudus, and Abdul Salis Samed will be in midfield, and Antoine Semenyo will lead the team in attack. Well, the likes of Frederick Asari is on bench. Likewise for Tawi Saku, Jordan Ayew, Ebenezer Anan, Ibrahim Suleiman, Osman Bukari, Kamaldin Suleiman are all on the bench. Well, head coach of the side, Otoado, is feeling optimistic about his team's ability to be able to defeat the Malians later in 50 minutes from now.
It's a very important match today for us. We have to win. This will be the best to guarantee our chances to qualify for the World Cup. But we know it's going to be very, very tough. Mali has a very, very strong team. They showed recently in their games against Nigeria or Cote d'Ivoire how really good they are. They have a lot of young talents in their teams, and in the FIFA World Round list they are above us. So Mali is a great team. It's very, very difficult for us to beat them, but we have to try. They're 1 point above us, and we have a good team as well. In the FIFA World Round list they are above us. So this shows how good and competitive they are. They showed in the last game against Nigeria how good they are.
Well, that's head coach Otoado. But considering the team's recent form, where they've been winless in the last 7 games, former captain of the side, Asamoah Gyan, is unsure about the team's chances tonight.
A team, you are not in the squad. You see individual players doing well in their clubs, great players. When they come together, that is where you cannot predict. I can say you're best sure because I support Ghana, but I don't know the caliber of the team, how they are going to perform. Honestly speaking, our performances recently, wishy-washy. We all have to hope for the best. How they're going to approach the game in Mali, because we all want Ghana to qualify. People want to see their families in America. I'm very confident about this team, but I don't know how they're going to approach the game, though.
That's former captain Asamoah Gyan there. Well, Braze, the game is going to be live on the national TV station. It's at 7 p.m. We'll see how the Black Stars fare. After this, they have the next game in Kumasi against Central African Republic on June 10.
I'll really be eager to watch how this game progresses. Let's catch up there. But some residents in Kumasi have expressed mixed sentiment as speculations intensify on the possible selection of an Ashanti running mate for the new Patriotic Party's flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Now, let's still stay on the NPP, because the opposition NDC says no matter how Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is repackaged and branded, he cannot pull himself from the failure by the NPP government to address the current economic challenges. Listen to Edujit Tamaklos, Director of Legal of the NDC, make this point on PM Express.
The Ghana presidential ticket is not one person ticket. And that is why, God forbid, when a
But Communications Director of the NPP campaign team, Miracles Abuaji, defends the track record of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and questions the competence of NDC flag bearer John Mahama in improving the economy if elected. Now, this has been a debate that has been happening, and on PM Express, Dennis Miracles Abuaji made a point that John Mahama stands no chance against Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is a member of cabinet. He's not president. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia did not pass e-levy. E-levy was passed by the Parliament of Ghana, proposed by the cabinet of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, of which Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is a member of. The EMT doesn't take bills to Parliament for passage. He's a lawyer. He knows it. And so if you sit here and you make this conversation, you trivialize the issues. And I can ask simple questions. All the things that former President Mahama did not do, some of which he threw away, cancelled. Now he says he wants to be president. Is he going to cancel them? Is he going to cancel nursing and teachers' allowance? Is he going to cancel free senior high school, which he spoke against? A lot of his officers spoke against. Is he going to do that, or he has had a change of mind? So that level of contradiction and pick and choose is what makes it very, very difficult for us to engage the NDC on the future of this country. There's a direct choice to be made between the former president, who was vice president, became former president, and became president, and the vice president that has never been president. And so if you're going to recount what you think a vice president who is part of a government has done and for which reason he shouldn't be president, then you have no business here advocating for a former president who put this whole country on its knees and on the ground.
Dennis Miracles Abuaji is Director of Communication for the Bawumia 2024 campaign team. Now, NDC flag bearer John Mahama has, promised to introduce a pension scheme for commercial drivers in the private sector if he wins the December polls. The former president, who was interacting with members of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU, assured of a broader consultation with stakeholders on ways to cushion the lives of commercial drivers through the introduction of a pension scheme.
The way almost ya low do a almost in your micro, Nina say a quaint, and so young tools and Tiomofamu, sa normal. And so they trabord and nashe, will call a honey hair, I'll bet you at all. And she told me they will see a samba. And so I'll see a yet told.
We will collaborate with New Plan to assemble buses in Ghana, which will then be given to you on credit and pay back in installments. It will be priced in cities to ensure it's affordable for all. We will also introduce a pension scheme for commercial drivers, which will ensure they receive a monthly income after retirement.
Na yashe na ye electronic gates. Enti wa umpe delay bia auto chip now they are at all castle. Udru ha gates na nkasa be no of them.
The former president also pledged to reintroduce the collection of road tolls on major highways across the country. The toll collection, according to him, will be expected to generate revenue to fund the construction and repair of roads in the country.
Into buses, no, young cancer able to me assemble buses or especially large heavy buses, no. Enti yɛne new plan for bɛkasa na yɛnya assembly plant wɔ ha na yɛnso yɛtumi assemble buses no and sell the buses in cedis ɛnyɛ dollarization deɛ no bi sell it in cedis so that ne bɔ bɛba from kakra na yɛtumi.
We will collaborate with New Plan to assemble buses in Ghana, which will then be given to you on credit and pay back in installments. It will be priced in cities to ensure it's affordable for all. We will also introduce a pension scheme for commercial drivers, which will ensure they receive a monthly income after retirement.
Also, the parts number Hanaya Yankasa, ya Assembler, a Beman Nebuaba from Kakra. And we have a pension scheme for drivers. I'm saying, Samria NDC and Babyum, a Stramu by Yanamon Transit, near structure a good pension scheme. Send a bear driver or one Hondia or ye Juma or Neska Kakra, near the Toho, near the Toho, near the Toho. A bedroom, a mre, obey mre, I just say, all call retirement, na eja, or no saying a bibi kakra.
Let's take you to Kumasi now for today's filth exhibition. Now, after months of being driven away by the stench of drains choked with filth at the Abuabo lorry station, traders and drivers heaved a sigh of relief as Joy News Filth exhibition got the KMA to start a major cleaning up of drains in the area. Joy News, in its recent filth exhibition series, uncovered the drain filled with heavy waste, posing health risk from its unpleasant stench. Clinton Yabua provides a special report on the recent cleanup efforts by KMA.
The Joy News team highlighted this situation in its flagship series, Filth Exhibition. Now traders, drivers and residents beam with joy as the reportage yields results. Officials of the KMA have begun a week-long cleanup in some selected areas, including the Abuabo Lorry Station main drain. A garbage container now occupies the spot to contain trash. Traders, drivers and residents hope the new development will improve sanitary conditions in the area. Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly Chief Executive Samuel Pine, in a recent interview with Joy News, disclosed the Assembly lost over 30,000 cedis to the clearing of waste from drains in the Wayek area in Akwetia Line. According to KMA Environmental Director Yao Ofori, these areas, along with other major areas in Adum, will be cleared in a week. He indicated the reportage and intensity of the situation fast-tracked the Assembly's response.
Now, we had a report that your outfit took a picture of what actually happened at the Abuabo. Basically, it's not expected for you to even call it before we do that. We'll be doing it. And then when the picture was showing around the television and other areas, we just move quickly to start doing the work. We are still on it.
Meanwhile, the Greater Accra Regional Minister Daniel Titus Glover says the insanitary conditions in the capital is unacceptable. He was speaking at a ceremony to outdoor former MP for Katamanso Ni Laya Forte as chief of Katamanso.
We all know for some time a lot of people travel far and near, and they've made Accra so filthy. Guns, we are very neat people, but because a lot of people have been traveling into the region and for that matter, the Accra proper, they have created a lot of filth. This is creating a lot of inconveniences and sicknesses. We believe that we want to join forces with all the traditional councils in the region. Last week, Friday, we paid a courtesy call on NIGA and his council to partner us. From there, we'll be coming all the assemblies where there are traditional authorities so they can partner us so that together we can be able to clear this filth from our region.
Greater Accra Regional Minister Daniel Ni Kwete Titus Glover there. Now, let's do more stories here. Many communities continue to be in the dark nearly 24 hours after fire gutted more than 100 stores in a makeshift community at Ekomog, which affected some major power distribution lines and critical equipment, causing outages. The fire, which started last Wednesday afternoon, affected some of the distribution lines of Gridco, forcing the system to shut down. According to the Acting Director of Operations of ECG, Engineer Ebenezer Gani, the fire traveled to the transmission lines from Gridco to truncate transmission of power to the affected areas. He's been speaking at a training workshop for selected journalists in Accra.
This night we had a challenge somewhere in the Odona area at Seto. What happened? There's a slum area there and there was a fire outbreak. What happened was a fire, and this has happened before and I've seen it with my eyes for years back. the fire was able to get up to the transmission line, and there was a Greco line, serving a bulk supply point. Get up there, heat it up, and cut it. Now, something like that, there's no way you can inform customers that there's going to be a fire in the slum area. That fire is going to be able to reach up there. That's what happened yesterday. So some areas went off, and some are still off, but the work is ongoing to restore supply to the bulk supply.
Well, engineers from Gridco have been on the ground since morning, assessing and trying some repair works. Manager of Corporate Communications for the Ghana Grid Company Limited, Gridco, Jifa Bampo, spoke to Joy News a while ago.
So mainly our towers have also suffered some burn. Later on, they will be retreated and restored. And then we also have some conductors that have been affected. They will also be replaced. And the insulators to be looked at. If they are still in good condition, we'll leave them. So essentially that work has begun. I'm sure you see some of the engineers have come with additional equipment. So it will continue like this for the rest of the day and for as long as it will take. But I don't project it will be too long. We are told that they will quickly do this work. So this particular transmission line, it terminates at Accra Central, bulk supply point. So what we've done is we've been working and have got some additional load coming from Malam substation so that others can be served. But as to which individual area, that doesn't sit with Gridco because Gridco is a bulk supplier. We only supply to ECG, and then ECG determines who gets the power and how. But we know that because this line is out of service, there's been a reduction in the power that ECG will get to serve everyone. So I can't give you the particular areas, but by close of day today, everyone should be restored.
So that is the communications, corporate communications manager for the Ghana Grid Company Limited, Jefa Bampo there. Let's do a bit of some of the messages you've brought us here. This one says, please, if the running mate to be named by the NPP flag bearer is indeed Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, then Ghanaians will always be reminded by his personal relationship and he cannot bring anything positive on board. JM is still the best choice to rescue Ghana from corrupt and state capture democracy. Hashtag Joy FM News. Elder from Sunyai brought this one in here. This one says, I don't understand why MPP are doing wrong things just to win the election. If you did what's expected from you as government, why try and foul means to stay in power? We in the NDC have put in place robust measures to safeguard the integrity of the electoral process there. This is from Musa Abattoir there. Well, thanks for listening. There's more news on myjoyonline.com. My name is Samuel Kojo. Brace up next year is a big conversation with a big personality. Today on Personality Profile, we are speaking with His Royal Majesty King Taki Taiko Churu II. He is Manche, and he'll be sitting down with the man Lexus Bill here on Joy 99.7. Good evening.